Welcome to the entrance of a little town I know, Ybor City, Tampa, Florida's most historical neighborhood. It will be the backdrop for today's adventure. So journey with me. There's much ahead. Hola amigos. Hello. Tampa J here, and welcome back to the channel. I'm here today to inform you of an exciting announcement. I have an exciting announcement about a new horror web series. I said horror web series that will be coming to Ybor. It will be filmed right here in the streets of Ybor City. Have you guys seen the Blair Witch Project? Well, its director, Dan Myrick, will be the producer of this future series called Lost Ybor. It's no surprise why Ybor has been chosen as the backdrop to a horror series. These streets run rich and dark history with hundreds of ghost stories, murders, suicides, and also organized crime. So our goal today is to take a walk around Ybor and seek out what will be the future filming locations of this horror series. And yes, Ybor is home to streetcars, just like you see in New Orleans. It's very cool because it's absolutely free to ride these things. But all that being said, let's head down the street here and see what we can find. I believe there's much ahead, my friends. So much ahead. Ybor was once the cigar rolling capital of the world, also known as Cigar City and Brick City. At one point there was over 1,300 brick buildings, all within a few square blocks. What was that? Can you say that again? Well, cock-a-doodle-doo! Just like Key West, it's not uncommon to see a rooster walking down the streets of Ybor City. They run wild here, and they're protected, so don't touch them. While I was visiting Los Angeles a couple months ago, I noticed they had these scooters for rent on the side of the roads. It looks like they have made their way to Tampa. I think those were green out there. Looks like Tampa's home of the orange scooters. Well, at least it's vacant. Oh darn. Oh darn. Welcome to our first official stop, Tampa's historic Cuban Club. This is said to be the main focal point in the upcoming series, Lost Ybor. This 4-story yellow brick building was a social club that housed a bar, a swimming pool, a casino, and an awesome dance floor to Cuban immigrants. It is also known to be haunted. Actually, the Travel Channel considers it one of the 10 most haunted places in the world. Built in 1917, it was actually not the original building. The original building burnt down in 1916, but it's sat here ever since on Palm Avenue across from the Hillsborough Community College campus, which I graduated from. Here's a look through the window through the main lobby. Look for it upcoming in the series. I would think this would be one of the main locations if they do film inside of the Cuban Club. Check out that tile. Here's another angle, kind of tucked away behind these sofas here in the corner. I have visited the Cuban Club before 2 times. Once I attended a hardcore music festival in the basement, had a good time in what used to be the pool, participated in a couple mosh pits. And the second time I visited politician Ralph Nader on the 4th floor, got to meet him and see him speak. He always had some cool ideas. I read that Dan Myrick said that the Cuban Club could possibly be one of the main focal points in the series, that this backdrop here might be the headquarters of what is known or will be known as Lost Ybor. There have been 2 confirmed murders that happened inside the Cuban Club, and even 1 suicide, and also the drowning of a young boy in the club's pool. These events might be the reason of the paranormal activity that exists inside the Cuban Club. Several people have said they've heard the elevators run by themselves even. This building was also the site of an assassination attempt on the life of Jose Marti, one of the founding fathers of Ybor City. Here's a look into the front window, the basement entrance. Behind those doors, through those curtains, would be the bottom floor. Behind those curtains is what used to be the pool. And it's said that a soccer ball once jumped 3 feet in the air by itself down in there. Are those curtains moving? I don't know. Looks like they moved there for a second. But anyways, a soccer ball was once said to jump 3 feet in the air and bounce down the floor. Witnesses say they felt goosebumps. I feel like that curtain's moving. Is it moving? Oh man, speaking of goosebumps. Here's a look through the main entrance now. Check out the little ticket booth, or what looks to be a ticket booth, out in front of this staircase to the left and to the right. It's very cool, huh? I wonder how many scenes might be filmed here in this horror series. Across the street is some of my old classrooms and the cafe for Hillsborough Community College. Right there, I used to study and get a bite to eat in between classes after work. And also, it's where I once did a showdown with the infamous Ybor City shoe liquor. But we won't go into that story, will we? But anyways, the Cuban Club is right across the street. Cuban Club is a beautiful building, and even if it wasn't haunted, it still has that haunting appeal and would be a perfect spot for any horror series. I'm so happy that they have chosen Ybor as the place to film this new series. Whew, it sure is a hot day. Now the next location we are going to is not far at all, not even a block away. The Don Vicente de Ybor, aka Hotel Hell. Across the street from the hotel is the founding of the cigar industry of Tampa's little placard here. It sits in front of what used to be a cigar factory, and the sign says in 1886 2 cigar factories were completed in Tampa, signaling the founding of the industry of the area. You might recognize this building in the story I'm about to tell from the popular series Ghost Hunters. They visited the hotel in 2009. This hotel sits vacant now, but it is said to still be haunted by the ghost of Frank Avellano Jr., which was the son of the doctor who founded this place. Frank was diagnosed with schizophrenia and actually shot a child in the eye. His family, his dad, Dr. Frank Avellano, was always trying to keep him out of trouble, but one day Frank decided to move across the street, which would have been probably right there, which used to be called the Orpheum, and to start a brothel. And it is said that there are tunnels running all throughout underground Ybor. I will get into that a little later. But Frank used to practice medicine across the street and perform surgeries that most of the time would lead in death. And to get rid of the evidence, he would come across the tunnels into the basement of the Don Vicente and use the incinerator to dispose of the bodies. I also just mentioned the tunnel that was leading across the street to the brothel where they actually took the body into the incinerator, the hospital. There was actually tunnels all throughout and underneath Ybor City. One was just discovered last December. These tunnels were made of brick, and most of them still exist down there. People think that they were used to transport alcohol during Prohibition. Kind of crazy to believe that at the bottom of the building, in the basement, hundreds of bodies that were basically murdered were incinerated, and that is why the paranormal have taken over this place, and there have been numerous accounts of ghost sightings and encounters. So much that the ghost hunters actually came here in 2009 and did a little investigation. Look at that black bag flying over there. to the right lower screen, that's really spooky. Here's a look inside of the Don Vicente Inn. Check out the grand staircase there. That's pretty magnificent. Wonder if we can see any ghosts. So this is a perfect backdrop for a horror series. What do you think? I think we will see the story of Frank Avellano Jr. as a featured episode. I'm willing to bet that his story will be told. This building here used to be the popular music venue, the Orpheum, which is still around. It just moved down the street. But I and a couple other bands used to perform here. Had a couple shows here. Used to be in a hardcore band. There were some good times. Also, it's a filming location for a Burt Reynolds movie. I've mentioned it a couple times before, but Cop and a Half was filmed right here, and this was the scene where the domestic dispute was going on and that angry wife was throwing plates down at her ungrateful husband there. Good old Burt Reynolds. Rest in peace, brother. Here comes the streetcar. There goes the streetcar. I was reading that the original title of the series was going to be Southern Gothic, and the creator rewrote the script just to format Ybor. Welcome to the Castle, a nightclub, a very popular nightclub, actually a Gothic, new wave, and house music nightclub. I can imagine that if there's going to be a TV series or a web series filmed here in Ybor, the castle will most definitely be featured in it. It is also said to be haunted. I've come over to 7th Avenue. Ybor consists of primarily two strips, 8th Avenue and 7th Avenue. This is 7th Avenue, and there's a lot more going on here on 7th Avenue than there is 8th Avenue. As you can see, it's a long row of restaurants, boutiques, bars, and nightclubs. Another hot spot for the horror series may be this building right here. At the top it says Arturo Fuente Cigars, which used to be a cigar company located here in Ybor. And in the bottom is a place, actually one of my favorite places to chill back in the day. It's called the King Corona. The King Corona has been here for many years, but actually allows you to smoke a cigar and have a little drink. It is a cigar bar. And it's very laid back. I used to come here with a bunch of friends in college, and we just light up a stogie, sip on a drink, and actually play some Monopoly. Yeah, that's right. They have a lot of board games in there. Cafe and bar. They offer Wi-Fi. They also do serve coffee. And of course, they have a whole room full of cigars that you can choose from. Most of them are companies that were made, and some still made right here in Ybor City. In the window to the left of the main door is this awesome mural that is painted, a good representation of Ybor City and Tampa. Looks like a little bit of Gasparilla going on here in the streets, one of Tampa's biggest festival, kind of like Mardi Gras in New Orleans. But check out all these people down here having a good time. The guy over there smoking a stogie. This guy having some Cuban cafe con leche and espresso with a cigar sticking out of it. And over here, the Hotel Floridian, which sits in downtown Tampa. The reason I'm showing you the King Corona, because it is said that it is haunted too. And I can imagine if I were a big time Hollywood producer and I was coming out to Ybor City, I would want to make King Corona part of my show. It'd be an awesome place to see actors chilling over here, watching the streets of Ybor City, especially at night. This is a whole different type of atmosphere at night, by the way. Oh, it's really hot out here. I went inside this 7-Eleven and got a little Gatorade to keep me hydrated. Here's the founder of Ybor himself, Vicente Martinez Ybor. It looks like his glasses may have fallen off there. There he is in statue form. There's a little plaque down here. Here's another little cigar bar here, Nick Habana. cigars. You can go in there and get you a drink and a stogie. Just as this sailor dude is over here on the right. Check him out. That's actually pretty cool. Ybor City is actually the birthplace of the Cuban sandwich, and if you caught my video about a year ago, I did kind of tell about the history of the Cuban sandwich and actually ate one right here in Ybor City. So here's a link to that video if you want to check out that adventure. Much has changed since then with the channel, and there is much ahead yet still to do here in Ybor City. Thanks for joining me, but unfortunately, this is going to be the end of it. I try to make it a quick adventure, but always I try to make it a fun adventure, and I hope you had fun. If it's your first time here and you enjoyed the video, please do me a favor and give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe and hit the notification bell, because you never know where I'm gonna go, and I'm definitely coming back to Ybor City. Definitely going to explore everything I can here in the future in what I like to call the much ahead. Well, that all being said, see you next time, guys. There is much ahead, my friends. Always. Much ahead. You know what that means, don't you? There's a lot coming up. I've got more videos, and I'm never gonna stop. I guess that kind of defines what much ahead means. Cliché, huh? Cliché. See you later. I hate goodbyes. Okay, I'm ending it. See ya. Bye.